Rico here with another one. Make sure you guys like and subscribe so you guys can be notified when we're over here experiencing the abundance of money, man. You guys do not want to miss out. We blew right past 1,000 subscribers, and shout out to the FEG community because they pushed us really hard. So without no further ado, I'm going to introduce RTR from the FEG community. We got some exclusive updates coming. So I'm going to let him take the floor right now.
Hey, bro, thanks for having me on the channel. I really enjoyed the video that you put out yesterday, explaining a little bit about the project and the technical analysis that you did at the end there. So for everybody in the FEG community, I reached out to Crypto Rico, and I told them that we had some updates that have been coming out, and you know, some of them have yet to be added to the fegtoken.com site. So I wanted to just make sure that, you know, to go full circle and give you guys the best content, we were gonna kind of run through a few things that were left out yesterday, not to the fault of Crypto Rico, but you know, things have just been changing at such a rapid pace, hard to keep up. So I wanted to explain a little bit about the project, about FEG and the direction that we're going. So I'll start off if that's cool with just explaining the tokenomics document. I'll actually share my screen.
All right, thank
you. And that way everybody can see. I'll go a little bit into the project here. So FEG exchange, FEGX, it's our multi-chain decentralized exchange. It runs on both the Ethereum and the Binance Smart Chains. We are actually developing a cross-chain bridge so that you can swap between tokens. So any token that wants to list on FEGX will be able to, if they're multi-chain, they'll be able to take a portion of liquidity that they allocate for the bridge and put that into the bridge so that people can cross-chain trade that token at a US dollar value, not one-to-one, but a US dollar value. When the bridge comes out, which there's some updates coming about the bridge soon, actually, according to FEGROX. Today I got updated about that. He'll be pushing some information about that soon. The bridge, that'll make our exchange a CEX, DEX, centralized, decentralized hybrid, in the sense that the logic has to be performed on a server when you're doing the bridge transaction. So that's a centralized movement. But outside of that, everything is still decentralized, no KYC, it's completely trustless, and so on. So
yeah,
I wanted to move.
I want to add something on there because that's a huge use case that projects are not even daring to step forward and do any kind of cross-chain thing right there. So, you know, that's one use case of FEG token. And like I stated in other videos that I did, you know, FEG's been around for a while and they're not going nowhere. And that's one of the reasons right there. I just want to call out all the use cases that we got, and we'll keep track of them. But you can go ahead, bro.
You know, they're just countless at this point. The utilities coming like crazy. All the benefits of listing on FEG Exchange are becoming just more and more on the daily. So I'll get into a little bit about the reward systems and the importance of actually owning FEG token, as the entire ecosystem quite literally revolves around the FEG token. And it's the strength of the exchange and what I'll explain about Smart DeFi and the Launchpad coming up that actually drives that value, that intrinsic value for the FEG token. And I know I spoke to you about this last burn method that's coming up, and you were super excited about it, but we'll get to that one in a little while. So there are actually 9 burn mechanisms for FEG token, but we'll get into those in just a few minutes. So part of having the utilization on the exchange, I'll start with the fWRAP, is that whenever you buy a token on FEG Exchange, you're actually going to go through a conversion from, if you're buying FEG on the Ethereum side, for example, you're going to take your ETH. There's going to be a 1% conversion fee. You're going to buy fETH in the background, and that fETH here is going to actually turn into FEG token. And now, if you have FEG token and you want to unwrap it, you're going to go from FEG to fETH, and then your FEG, and then to fETH, and that's going to have a 1% conversion fee, and then it's going to go into ETH. So if you wrap 1 Ethereum, it's going to give you 0.99 ETH back. That 0.01 ETH is actually going to go to the fWRAP holders, anybody who's holding FEG wrapped, the natively wrapped. So that's a reward pool that gets that distribution, and it gets sent to everybody in that pool based on your percentage of ownership of the pool. So what's really bullish about this, that every token that lists on FEGX and every token that lists on Smart DeFi has to fWRAP their liquidity. Now, that means that if someone comes in does a pre-sale with our new pre-sale functions on the exchange, if they do a pre-sale of, you know, $20,000, right? 1% of that is going to be taken and sent to the pool, you know, and that's small end. You know, there's pre-sales with, you know, 1,000 BNB, and, you know, they sell out in seconds. So there's a lot of bullish momentum behind fWRAPs, and also every buy-sell transaction on the exchange uses the fWRAP form, and every buy and sell on Smart DeFi as well. So there's a lot to be said about that as we move forward. So I don't want to get too deep into it. This tokenomics and reward systems document is available for anybody who wants in-depth analysis. I'm just using it to share screen here so you can take a look at the features and kind of running through them as we move forward. Now that fWRAP system actually builds into one of the most bullish aspects of the exchange, our FEG staking pool. Now, anytime you take your tokens onto the exchange, you can go to our staking tab and you can stake in the version 2, which is our latest staking pool version. And if you stake your FEG tokens on the Binance Smart Chain side, this means that any token that launches on the exchange, for example, FOMO Labs is going to be launching on the Binance Smart Chain side, Tri token, Feast, etc. Anything on the BSC side, any token base paired against fBNB, FUSDT, or FBTCB, they're all going to have a 0.15% sell transaction fee that feeds the FEG staking rewards pool. On the Ethereum side, yeah, bro, that's going to be countless tokens, right? So that's however many forever, right? So that's just like ridiculous. Plus the Ethereum side is any that are fETH, FUSDT, and FBTC. And that's every token again forever. Now, what's even more bullish is that we all know that we're coming out with our Launchpad, the Smart DeFi Launchpad, and at first it's only going to be fETH and fBNB tokens that are launching on Smart DeFi. So that means that every token on Smart DeFi Launchpad has to actually send every sell transaction 0.12% to the FEG staking rewards pool. We just recently updated the other one to 0.15.
And also, I don't mean to interrupt, but whatever they put into liquidity, they have to back it with FEG token. Is that correct, or?
Oh, so that's with Smart DeFi. Yes. So the Smart DeFi, that was one of the newest burn mechanism. We'll jump the gun on this one because it's so bullish. But anytime you mint a token on Smart, so let me use the Smart DeFi, the staking. So the Smart DeFi staking is 0.12% every sell transaction for the FEG staking rewards pool, and every sell transaction in Smart DeFi has 0.5% of its sell transaction that actually buys and burns FEG token. Now, what you were talking about is what we talked about prior to the interview, and that's the fact that when you want to mint a token, which is create a token for Smart DeFi platform to launch it, because it's a launchpad, you have to create the token and then deploy it against the liquidity, which is also fWRAP and feeds that fWRAP. You actually have to back your token 1-to-1 with FEG token. So if I wanted to make 1 trillion RTR tokens, I would have to take 1 trillion FEG tokens and actually burn them to mint my 1 trillion RTR tokens. So that can be a huge burn mechanism for FEG. Huge.
I love that part so much, and that's probably why I jumped the gun on it, because that right there is super bullish. And also, it was one of the things that I talked about when I dropped the video that was different from all the other projects was that you guys were willing to accept other projects. And what was funny, later on that night, being inside the voice chat, I was there with Prince. So shout out to Prince. This subject actually came up where somebody wanted some advice on how to get situated on the Launchpad, and that's why I got to give a shout out to Prince, because he handled that very well. And it was a different look seeing it from a token that actually encourages new projects to come to do this Smart DeFi Launchpad, which is another very strong use case right there, and another bullish background with them having to burn the exact amount through FEG, man. So shout out to you guys on that tokenomics right there. That's nice.
Yeah, and so Smart DeFi is really changing the game because it's revolutionary in the sense that it's a completely trustless token. You're launching it in our pre-sale. It locks the liquidity. You will have an abort function. So like if your soft cap isn't met, then within 1 hour, if nobody buys into the pre-sale for 1 hour, the dev can cancel it. If 24 hours goes by and nobody's bought into it, a user can cancel it and it can abort it. And actually it'll allow you to start withdrawing your funds out of that pre-sale so that they can't take advantage. Outside of that, Smart DeFi as a whole is really cool because it's essentially its own decentralized exchange. All the token liquidity is hosted in the token, locked inside. There's no third-party exchanges that can trade it. Uni, PCS, Cake, Uni, PCS, Sushi, OneInch, etc. All those exchanges are blocked from hosting the token. Now that means that it's completely safe. All of it's locked inside. We are, however, going to create a widget that allows projects to host it on their own websites. So because all the transactions occur within it, you can have hosting of a user interface on your website and trade the token right there. And the beauty of that is it still feeds all the FEG reward pools, because those contracts are built to push the fWRAP rewards to the fWRAP pools and the staking rewards to the staking pools. So no matter where you trade it, it's always going to be available there. And then some of the utilities like burning the token and the asset backing are also super innovative, where you're actually asset backing your token. I actually have that page somewhere over here, but you're asset backing the token with your fWRAP base form. So if it guarantees the baseline value of the token. So for example, the ROX token, which is the first token that launched on Smart DeFi, you actually have 5% of every buy and sell has a transaction tax. It's 5% tax, and it goes to a different pool, right? You have your liquidity against your token, but then you have liquidity against just an asset-backed pool. Now you can go to the exchange on fegx.com and actually go to the Smart Tools tab, and under that Smart Tools tab, you can burn the token for the base value. So like right now, the on FEG stats, if I was to go to FEG stats, let me see here. Let me F11 this. If I was to go to FEG stats right here, I have the burn address listed here. But if I go to FEG stats and I go to ROX BSC, for example, it's going to show me the market price is 13.5 BNB. It's going to show me the baseline value. Let's look at the 7-day baseline value has gone up 4.28%. This will never go down, right? This will never go down. This line only goes up. So you can see 7 days ago is at 1.86, now it's at 1.94. Every time somebody buys or sells, that goes up. And that means that you could take this token to the exchange. If I have one ROX token, I could trade it for, I could sell it for or burn it for 1.4. Also, we built a smart lending feature, which is a loan. You can take a loan collateralizing your token for that baseline value.
Wow.
That's huge.
That is huge. What are the percentages vary by what token it is or whatnot? Depending on the value of each.
But that's the beauty of it, right? So the backing, the smart lend is actually based on the baseline value. So like whatever token it is, however much they allocate in percentage to their baseline value, whatever the baseline value is, like right now, I could take one ROX BSC and I could go get 1.94 BNB for it. Now I can, it's a 30-day loan and there's no fee on it. All I have to do is come back within the 30 days and pay back the amount I took out plus the difference, right? And if you're averaging 7 days, you're averaging 4.28%. You have to add 4.28% to whatever, per week, I guess, for whatever amount you took out. You just have to, you have to pay the difference between the baseline value of the current one when you come back to return it and what you took out. So you have to pay what you took out plus the difference, and that's it. And if you want to extend longer than 30 days, you got to burn 0.1% of your collateralized asset, which is like either your ROX token or RTR token, for example, on the whatever token you use as collateral for that loan in BNB here. So that's crazy, and there's no fees that are given to the team.
Nice. No, that's really nice. I got a question on that. Is there, let's say if the token was starting to go down, if it was per se whatever token, would that affect your loan? Would a certain percentage of the loan get liquidated as time went by? Or, I just want, I'm sure somebody's going to ask that, because there's other tokens that does somewhat loan things, but if they start to, the price starts to go lower, they have to liquidate some of the loan and stuff. And I just want people to be aware of everything,
No, 100%. So the beauty of this is that your spot price, which is here on the left, is completely independent from the baseline value. Now, because I mentioned earlier that there's separate liquidity pools, regardless of the token value going down, this baseline value can only ever go up. So because when somebody buys, 5% goes into this liquidity pool for asset backing, and when somebody sells, 5% goes into this pool. That means it only goes, notice this chart never goes down. It doesn't go down. So you'll never have a situation where you have to pay back less, because to get the collateralized out, it can only go up. To get back your collateralized asset, that baseline can only go up, whether somebody buys or sells. And that's the beauty, because as a store of value, this is an asset, right? We're talking about ROX token, but you have to remember that this is actually for every token that launches on Smart DeFi. So that asset value, as for a store of value, having a baseline value is a huge thing, because you're not looking at like Bitcoin for a store of value and saying, oh, look how much it can swing up and down, up and down. Imagine if Bitcoin had an asset-backed value at its beginning, where it would be from the trading volume on it that it's occurred to up until today. You know what I mean? So you would never be fearful of losing.
Right. Another thing that I want to mention also, besides like, you know, this loan thing that you could do through this part of this DeFi Launchpad, what I like that's like almost not on the surface and you can't notice it because there's, you know, so many nice features that on top you just get caught up in that. But what I like is that you guys are taking it upon yourself to clean up the Binance Smart Chain and, you know, this you know, all these rug pulls and honeypots, because a lot of people would just like rather just put their head down and put a blind eye to everything. And that's why some voice chats, they don't talk about no other projects. All they do is talk about whatever they got to say. So I really liked it that you guys had this different approach and also implemented this into your guys' contract and also helping new tokens come out. And I got to see it firsthand after I dropped the video. When somebody came in and asked questions, Prince was right on point, led them in the right direction. And I liked it, that different aspect. And it's, you know, at first it's kind of like it seems like it could be bittersweet because there was a FEG community member that was questioning that very same thing. And but in the long term, I think it's going to be very bullish for FEG, because you're doing this like almost Socrates effect. You're saying these are the ones that are okay because they backed it with FEG. You know, if they were going to rug pull, they would have never backed it with FEG. So, you know, I really like that part right there as well.
Yeah, these are the only tokens that we can guarantee safety for. So what's beautiful about FEGX is that on the FEG exchange, when a token lists with us, you have to remember that that token is pre-existing, right? So they can come into the exchange and they can benefit from all sorts of things. There's actually a document here that I work with on the deployer. You can see actually the options that they have for listing. So like there's 4 options that they have for listing that they have a sliding you know, percentages that they can use. So you can either have like no dev fee and staking pool fee and pay a 0.6% sell fee. And then you can have a 0.2% dev fee and that goes 0.8% sell fee, or you can have a 0 to 1%. You can go all the way up to 1% dev fee from 0.6 to 1.6, or a 0 to 1% staking pool fee, which is 0.6 to 1.6. And I always recommend to projects like that, people are going to love your project more if you're giving back to them. Why do you think that FEG exchange has literally no fees that go to the team? It literally everything, 100% of the fees on the exchange go back to the community, which is fantastic. So I was mentioning the pre-existing. So tokens that list FEGX are pre-existing. They have liquidity on PCS or Uni, excuse me, and they're coming over to our exchange with part of their liquidity. When they do so, they lock the liquidity for 1 year. So you know that whatever amount you're getting, you know that liquidity is locked for 1 year. So you're always going to have something to come back to sell. Yeah, we're doing our best to increase the safety on that front.
Right. And you don't got to be Edward Snowden, a code writer, to be able to launch this. Like I heard Prince talking last night, the simplicity, how you guys made it. Like if somebody wants to launch a project, you know, you guys basically made it very simple for the everyday person that has a good idea. You know, you guys can really be a part of something right now. And I really like this.
Yeah, what happened was we had opened up the deployer and the user interface was a little bit difficult because people had to understand their tokenomics, the smart contract, and list their percentage. The confusion came from the reflection percentage, because many tokens have different taxes for different things. So the tax percentage was confusing. So what fWRAP did is he actually built into the deployer, the FEGX deployer, he built the ability to read their smart contract, so that you no longer have to manually select your tax. It actually reads it for you and does it by itself. So he's phenomenal. So we did a launch, opened the deployer for 2 days. We had like 60 something tokens launched in the first 2 days. And we closed it down to increase because it was still early, and we closed it to increase the UI, to better the UI, to make it so that anybody, like you said, could list a token. So we updated that UI and pushed it back out. Now that's out again. And so, like you said, Prince walked somebody through it, and it's very easy. There's also no fee to list as well. So, you know, all you're paying for is the deploy fee on the blockchain and your liquidity, fWRAPing your liquidity to put it into liquidity based spread against your token. But even that has its benefit. So if you're fWRAPing your liquidity against your token, you're earning from that fWRAP reward system we talked about for every buy and sell on the exchange. So it buffers up your liquidity like a smart rising price floor without you having to do anything. So
Nice.
it's really got a lot of benefits in just being on the exchange, coupled with your potential dev fee, staking pool fee, LP for your own 0.2% liquidity pool fee, and and so on. And plus, you also capitalize off the gas rebate function, which we just came out with, which is phenomenal. If you go to page 14 of the TRS document, you can go into the details on that on your own for the thresholds. But just know that every token has a 0.15% sell transaction fee that goes into a gas rebate pool, and it's independent for every token. So you'll actually be able to place an order if you buy over 0.2 BNB and hold 20 billion FEG, or you buy with ETH over 0.05, and on the BSC side, selling under 2 BNB and selling under 1 ETH. And he did that to minimize dumping and increase buying, right? So that's an incentive for you to buy more and to sell less per transaction. So it actually is really nice. But yeah, there's so many different features. But in comparison to FEGX, FEG Deployer, like we were just talking about, like you were talking about, to come full circle with the cleansing of the BSC side in particular, is that the smart DeFi tokens are actually completely trustless, like we talked about, safe presale and internal presale. And every presale has a 0.5% sell transaction fee, or I'm sorry, 0.5% fee that buys and burns FEG as well. So not only are you minting the token on smart DeFi, and that's got to burn 1-to-1, but you're also burning 0.5% of your total presale is going to buy and burn FEG. So that's huge burn mechanisms for smart DeFi. Now,
Yes, it
because
is.
it's trustless and everything's locked inside, you're not worried about all these rug pulls, these honeypots like you were talking about in the BSC, because it's so cheap to launch tokens on the BSC side. You're seeing a lot of these rug pulls come from that side, that chain. And, it's tarnishing the chain. So we're actually going to clean this space up.
Yeah, and I love that approach, man. And it seems like nobody really wants to do that. And I think you guys got the right idea doing this right here, because you guys are going to be able to say, hey, these guys are in, these guys are not. And what's nice about FEG is that it's already proved its longevity already, at least in my eyes from when I've been watching it. It's not going nowhere, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon, especially just with the use cases that we spoke about already. And I know you got more for us, so let's see what else we got.
Yeah, it's difficult to hit everything. I don't want to spend too much time going into detail, but I will explain the liquidity pool. We have two-sided liquidity. Every time somebody puts a transaction or on the exchange for that pool, 0.2% sell transaction fee goes to the liquidity pool providers. And also you're going to earn those rewards in fETH or fBNB or whatever base pair it's in, and you're going to be able to receive those rewards compounding as well from the fWRAP reward system. So whatever you receive, even prior to claiming, you're going to receive your FEG tokens while you're in liquidity pool. You're going to receive the fWRAP rewards from that 0.2%, and then whatever rewards you got from that 0.2% in fETH or fBNB, etc., are going to be receiving from the fWRAP pool rewards. So that's the same as staking. When we went over staking a little bit ago, you're going to be, that's why I have it written here as such. It's that you're earning your FEG BSC and the BSC side, you're earning your FEG tokens back directly into your staking pool. You're earning fBNB plus the reflections that come from the fWRAP and FUSDT and the reflections, and FBTCB and reflections when somebody directly pays against that. And on the ETH side, same thing, but fETH and reflections, FUSDT reflections, FBTC and reflections, and also your FEG ETH reflections. And those are added frictionlessly directly into your staking pool, increasing your percentage of ownership as others do. But a lot of tokens fluctuate in and out of there. And if you're only leaving it in there, you may be increasing your pool share size and increasing your rewards over time. So it just makes sense to, if you're going to hold FEG tokens, to be in staking, because you're still going to earn the FEG tokens passively. You may as well be earning reflections from the volume on the exchange. Why not?
Absolutely. And since we're speaking on right now on this topic on reflections and staking and earning more tokens, what was up with the FEG faucet? I had a couple of people ask me about that. Maybe not everybody doesn't have money to invest, and I noticed that you guys have a faucet that gives out FEG tokens. Is you got can we go on that a little bit? Maybe there's some people that are interested in that FEG faucet for sure. Yeah, right there.
Absolutely, I have that information right here. So it's actually at fegfaucet.com, and you can find this again in the TRS document if you guys don't need the link. And that's go to fegtoken.com under documents. It'll be the second from the left, TRS, Tokenomics and Reward Systems. Now the FEG faucet was actually an initial fund of 5 trillion tokens, and then FedRock's upped it to 10, and then he upped it to 20, and then he threw another 2 trillion. And so those are permanently locked into a perpetual fund. So you know how every time there's a buy seller transfer of FEG token, roughly 1.2% on the ETH side goes to the burn address, and the other 0.8% go to the community. And the same thing with the BSC side. Roughly, it's like almost 1.4, and I'm sorry, it's like 1.3. I need to actually look at the numbers, but yeah, they're basically let's just say 1.2 and 0.8 going to the community and the burn address. Well, out of that 0.8% that is going to the community distribution, that's going to the perpetual FEG faucet from the claim of, obviously the distribution is based off percentage of ownership, and this wallet holds 22% perpetual fund. So any rewards that come on top of that 22 trillion are up for claim free. All you have to do is pay the gas fee, but you do need to be careful with this during high volume times, because if somebody claims it right before you claim it and you initiated a claim transaction, you could end up getting no tokens if somebody got it right before you. So you have to be cautious with it. You don't want to get burned from it. And I always do tell everybody with decent bag sizes, everybody in the Feed Every Gorilla project is from different walks of life. And if you're not struggling and you're able to buy tokens regularly, then leave this for the token bags that are smaller, because we want everybody to benefit from this. This is really made for those with small bags.
Yeah, right. And I really hope that people can be honest with that. I have dropped several videos, because I have a lot of people that reach out to me that ask me, how can I get in the crypto space? And I try to get them different which ways to do it free. We're taking lessons or whatever. But this was really nice because, it's basically just, letting the small guys, the small fish eat right here. So I really like that aspect. It just shows a lot of character through this whole project and stuff, how much you guys are doing for the community, and even, where people can come and claim some FEG tokens off the faucet. I love that.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can to get back. We do plan on doing more charitable things in the future. We have our relationship with Pan-African Sanctuary Alliance. We give them a perpetual fund. At the time, I think it was $1 million. FEGROX donated into a fund for them. And so we've maintained a very good relationship with them. We have done, outside of that, our community has set up many food drives in Mexico. We've done some donation for medical bills and things of that sort for people in our community in the past. And so we're really trying to reach out. We're going to create these relationships and branch our project into different charitable organizations as well as we move forward, because this project Feed Every Gorilla isn't a literal thing. It literally, we talk about aping in, and we talk about each other as gorillas, etc. But it's really about feeding everybody, and that's we try to live to that, and it's about bringing everybody up in in decentralized finance, which is taking away from the centralized entities that are monopolizing and dominating the financial system, and basically capitalizing on screwing over the little person, which is us. So we're taking that back, and we're trying to give back as much as we can here in DeFi, because this is all of us coming up together. So I have a couple of other things that I can talk about here. We talked about the fees a little bit. I don't want to get super into that. We did talk about the Smart DeFi and how that's going to be rolling out. So that's going to be going public here soon. And so when it goes public, anybody will be able to take a token to the exchange and mint it using one-to-one backed FEG token and pushing that out. We do have the ROX token, which a little bit more about that is that I know we talked about the asset backing a lot, but if you hold, one of the other reasons to buy ROX before it goes up tremendously in value is that if you hold 0.001 ROX token, you bypass the reflection fees when you're receiving a Smart DeFi token. So like my first time I bought ROX, let's say I got I had none. When I bought it, I got taxed the reflection of 1%, right?
Correct.
So the second time I bought, I had over 0.001, which means that I didn't get charged the 1% reflection tax. Now take that concept of waiving reflection tax for every token that you're buying in Smart DeFi over time, and that can be hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars that you're saving over time, depending on how much you trade. And I would get, and not financial advice, but I personally made sure I got that much, at least on both chains, so that when I'm trading in the future, I can capitalize on those savings, because the market cap is still super low for the ROX token right now.
Absolutely. And that's the way to
5
trade.
million.
Yeah, you definitely want to trade every way that you could save a little bit on taxes. Even the NASDAQ, when people trade, the whole stock market is based off transaction fees, basically, so the more that you can save, the better, because that's why the fees are so high and things like that. So I like that aspect on the ROX holding the Rocks token. So definitely want to load your bags on the Rocks token.
Yeah, man, there's so much in here. There's so much in the ecosystem. Outside of that, you know, if you're trying to list your token on FEGX, we have a customer support channel. Reach out to one of the moderators or one of the admins, and we'll get you in here. If you're a previous token that launched on there, migrate your tokens over to the FEGX Pro contract, which actually allows for all the rewards that are coming, the different gas rebates and things. So you want to update your token for those, just so that you're aware. I did want to read the burn mechanisms off here really quickly.
Absolutely.
Let me see if I have token chat. I'll actually paste them here. Give me just a second.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know if you could see them on my Telegram there just for a second. I popped it up. Was it on the same screen? There you go.
Yeah.
So let's move this to another page. So FEG burn mechanisms here. You can see them. You have every time you buy, sell, or transfer, there is a 2% tax, right? And out of that 2% tax, here they are, 1.17% on the FEG ETH side. This is as of yesterday. Is going to the burn address, and the remainder is going to the community. 1.13. I missed the one on BSC, and I explained it earlier. It's 1.1399 that's going to the burn address on FEG BSC, and the remainder going to the community. So yeah, I was correct when I said roughly 1.2. So yeah, so that's just 3, right? That's every buy, sell, transfer. That's 3. Every sell transaction on Smart DeFi has a 0.5% sell transaction fee that buys and burns FEG. On the new FEGX Pro contracts, anytime somebody buys or sells, there's a 0.1% fee that takes that buys and burns FEG. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 here. 7 is if you're doing a person-to-person transfer, which is inside of our SmartSwap ecosystem, where you can swing trade for minimum gas fees and waives the reflection taxes, but you can also send for privacy, increased privacy, not completely encrypted, but increased privacy. There's a 0.5% fee that buys and burns FEG, or that burns the FEG from the transaction. Doesn't buy it, burns what you have. Now, all the pre-sales we talked about do buy and burn, and that's on the FEG deployer and Smart DeFi. So I guess you could talk about that as 2 different mechanisms and call it 10, but yeah. I put that into 1. Then the last one is the one we hit up earlier, which is when you mint a token on Smart DeFi, that minting is a 1-to-1 mint burning FEG token. So if I wanted to do, like I said, a trillion RTR tokens, I have to take a trillion FEG and burn a trillion FEG in order to do so.
I think that is the elephant in the room right there. That's the one that keeps, every time we come up to that new burn mechanism that you guys have, I literally get excited because I already know that the minute you guys have the Launchpad and this is implemented, this is going to be huge. And shout out to the FEG community. You guys reached out to the team and everybody that was already rocking with me. You guys made this happen. We're getting some exclusive news and also some updates that are for sure going to be catalysts that is going to drive the price up later on. And we already see the market's already changing to a bullish trend. So I already know when this Launchpad takes off, this is going to be pretty strong for FEG right here.
Yeah, bro, absolutely. I know that you have done some technical analysis yesterday. I don't know if you wanted to pull that chart up again and talk about a little bit about how that actually has been playing out, which was pretty spot on, if you ask me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick so that you can do yours if you have it.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Okay, let me know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can.
All right, cool. So let's just go over what we went over yesterday. And 1 second. Okay, let's go over where we went over yesterday. I had it on the daily chart. Go ahead and zoom in. And not that I had a crystal ball or anything like that, but you'll notice the channels that we've been trading in. And like I said in the prior videos, we're gonna get in a chance to almost get into like pre-market prices. This is gonna, I believe this is the new bottom for FEG, which is normal, the type of breakout that we had, all-time high like this. You know, when you breathe in, you have to breathe out, and this is what's happening right here. And then at the same time, Bitcoin, excuse me, Bitcoin had, you know, started to come back, and you know that affected every market, every token. But with that being said, it wasn't no big deal because this is natural for a chart to look at. And I like to think of the analogy of Y2K. I don't know how old everybody's going to be, but in 1999, you know, everybody thought all the stocks were through because everything plummeted. They thought everything was going to be over. If you look at that same spot now today, when you zoom out, it's just a hiccup. It literally almost non-existent. And you know, there was Apple, and look, Jeff Bezos is a billionaire now. And in 99, everybody thought everything was going to be over. The computers were going to reset. We were going to have no electricity, this, that, and the other. So I think that people don't realize how early we are on FEG. And what's nice about FEG with all the utility and getting this buy opportunity right here, I don't see it going any lower. I think this is the new zero for FEG, to be honest with you. And it has to indicate that, you know, this is too volatile to say this is a support. It has to identify it more smoothly. And this like volatile breakout had this come down, try to stay in this channel, but it came down. This is a more comfortable, you know, tap, making a nice cup and handle. And I believe, let's zoom in. I hope you guys can see this. This is that cup and handle. We were somewhere around here yet last night, with the star line still on the bottom. I believe now, and also that Bitcoin is picking up. This is a little double bottom tap. I think that we're going to trade inside this channel and test this, which we already been going to the upside, like I was thinking we were going to do. I don't think FEG is going any lower. Now everybody's going to agree that this is the new zero right here. This is FEG's new bottom, which is really close to a really good price point. And FEG shot up here before all these new tokenomics even had came out. So imagine now you buying in back here before FEG came out with all these new tokenomics, all these new use cases, but now you're getting that same buy opportunity with all these new use cases that are going to really drive the price even higher. And once we break out of here, we'll definitely we're going to go test the new highs again. We just had to identify the support line, and this is where we're at. This is the support. We're completely oversold on the MACD right here, and I believe that we're going to cross over. We're going to have a breakout pretty soon, especially with Bitcoin doing what it's doing.
Yeah, honestly, some of what you were saying was a little bit chopped out, and I think that's Telegram and just the way that it's handling the video. So apologies if you guys are seeing the video that's a little bit blurry, but definitely take the trend lines are the same as yesterday's video. So definitely just take a look at the support and resistance lines from yesterday, so you can see those if it was too blurry today. But yeah, man, you made excellent points. I mean, we definitely came back down and we found the support again. And we look like we're coming back up, and we'll see if we can break that next point of resistance and keep on moving forward. But looking good for the next few months.
For sure. I definitely believe that this is an opportunity that, when FEG breaks up to the top side again, and I just want to make sure everybody's clear on this. When it tests this and it breaks out and it comes up to, let's say up here, it's going to come back and test this. This will be the new bottom. But we're definitely looking good in the coming months. And I think almost a bit more lucrative than the OGs in a way, because the OGs were, diamond handing before we had all these new use cases in the FEG token. So I think if you're a new investor, you have a really big opportunity considering where the project is going right now. And the proof of concept that you guys been doing this for a while, and you guys have not rug pulled anybody, you guys have not honeypot anybody. So it says a lot about the project.
Oh yeah, we were actually we're audited by Solidity auditing, and also we got audited just recently by Rug Free Coins, and we scored a 10 out of 10, which is the highest rating ever given, and that was actually and deemed a low risk. And you can take a look at that. It's actually on my Twitter page. I have it posted there. But if you go to @RugFreeCoins, you can see it on there as well. They listed us as the safest token.
Okay, yeah, for sure. And you know what? I gotta give the FEG community a big shout out, man. You guys showed a lot of love. That video is still, it's slapping. It's out of control right now. I love that everybody reached out to me, and that they felt more comfortable and they understood things. And I just want to let everybody know, you're not going to be bothering me. If you got any questions, I know he said the Telegram was a little bit blurry. Watch the other video on what I did, the price analysis. If you got any questions, don't be, don't be shy. Hit me up via Twitter, in the comments, or in an email, however you see fit. But just so like that, you can have a clear understanding, and we'll get it ironed out for sure.
Yeah, next time maybe we'll try Zoom and continue these conversations as we go forward. I know it was kind of all over the place today. We were just kind of talking. We were just chopping it up and decided to do it kind of on the whim. So we'll next time plan out a little bit more clear and just kind of do individual categories of maybe our systems, our reward systems. Also, you'll be able to, I don't know if anybody's seen it yet, but did you want to take a look at fegradio.com? Panic Badger, one of the voice chat mods, has created that. And with the help of Ataides, our IT security company, and Hendy, our devs, we've made that secure and high-end, running on high-end servers. So it should be nice to use. But real quick, Panic is going to put the reward systems in blocks from a TRS AMA I did on that site. So you'll actually be able to listen to those also on the site soon. But yeah, we'll be doing these videos hopefully as we move forward, Crypto Rico, throughout the next several months.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm definitely looking forward when we can do the showing the radio and everything like that. I'm sure everybody's staying dialed in from the great response that I got on this video. I'm sure everybody's watching right to the end. So shout out to everybody, coming back, experiencing the abundance of money with me here. And now we got RTR and the FEG community rocking with us. So I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm looking forward for the next couple months, man. Just let me know where you guys need me and I'll be there.
I appreciate it. And just on a closing note, I want to say thank you to all the community, the FEG community. I mean, the support that they've given and the diamond hands that have been coming here through the last, through the several months since May when we've been bearish and the entire market's been bearish. People have been undying support, the voice chat mods, the text chat mods, the marketing team, design team, admin team, just everybody. And especially those that work in the background and don't really see the community side. They deserve so much, so much praise, and they don't really get it, and they don't want it, but it's just so well deserved. So I just want to give a big shout out to all of them, and I want to say thank you, Crypto Rico, for having us on, and the great technical analysis you did yesterday and today in fuzzy mode. But we'll get those resolved next time, brother. And yeah, we'll speak again soon.
Absolutely, man. It was my pleasure.